Okay, we are live. I'm going to go ahead and take you off. Hello, everyone. Let's see. We were having technical difficulties. It's been a while. I was traveling around California. So I was gone for a while and I came back and I really didn't realize it was going to be such a pain to get everything set up. But I'm back. Like I said, I was traveling in California for almost a month. I had a great time. Took a break and a must needed break. I mean, I've been working so hard for the last year. And when I went to California, I just decided I was having so much fun. I thought just to go ahead and take a break. So I'm back and I will be doing my weekly live streams, but I decided to change them to Sundays at 2:00 Central Time because we have an international audience now. So used to be, Americans and USA. Now we have people in the UK, we have people in Europe, we have people all over the world now. So it's kind of exciting, international group here. So I'm excited about that. And so now I'm going to do it at 2:00 on Sunday for people that live in the United States, so we can get our UK people and Europeans, hopefully, and whoever else is out there. So it'll be like 8:00 their time, or maybe 9:00 their time, or just depending on where they live. So anyways, welcome to this live stream. I'm going to be, I'm going to still be, this is all training, right? So it's all training, but I'm going to be bringing guests on from time to time. And today is one of those days where I'm going to be bringing in a guest. So today I have my friend, Grace Gravestock, and she is an expert in human design. So I'm trying to get to my stuff. One of the technical difficulties I'm having is that my it's so crazy, is that my I only have one screen right now, which is really tricky for me to try to do this live stream. Usually I have 3 screens, and for some reason I can't figure out how to get it to work. So we were going to have to be really late, and that's why I just went on really quick. So anyways, today we're going to be talking about how to attract love by design. So how to attract love with human design. And Grace she's an expert at human design. So she's going to be telling us, it's really exciting. She's going to be telling us, not only about learning about your own type, but also the specific strategy you can use to attract love. So this is really exciting. Now, if you don't know what human design is, she'll be talking about it, but it's kind of like bringing in a bunch of different like modalities like astrology, Vedic, and she'll talk more about it. But if you haven't, we want you to go ahead and sign up here let's go ahead and get you, I'll just create the banner real quick. Go to this URL. Okay, let me delete this one. Okay, let's try it again. I have too many banners up. Go here, and you can then get your chart done. So do that before, or do it right now. It's just like a second. You put in your birthday, where you're born, all that kind of stuff, and then you can get to know your human design, and then you can follow along with Grace as she talks about human design and how you can use it for love. Okay, so I want to introduce everyone to Grace. Grace, hello.
Hey, Janet. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. I love talking about one of my favorite subjects, which is human design. Some of you know that I am a professional change manager for about 20 years. And so I've helped a lot of people, thousands and thousands of people, make changes in their life. Usually it was big technology changes, but after a lot of big changes in my life about 4 years ago, my life was changed by human design. And I finally realized that there's nothing wrong with me. Everything is perfect. And when I live in alignment, I can create a life that I actually want to live. And that's what I want to share with you today, because when you're living your design and you're really embodying who you really are, you can just attract love effortlessly and easily. And not just love, but everything that you want in your life. My intention from all my clients is to stand in your power and to learn to intentionally create a life that you actually love living. So with that, today we're going to talk about attracting love by design. And so I've got a couple slides to give you some visuals. If you haven't got your chart yet, please get it at, Janet put the link up already. So I'm going to switch over to my slides here. Okay, can you see my slides, Janet?
I cannot. Let's see. Let me go back here. Share. Let's see.
Let me try one more time. Let's see. So it says share. Yeah, it's grayed out for some reason.
Yeah, let me see what I can do. Okay.
Okay. You want me to just go ahead and jump in without slides while you do that?
Yeah, you can go ahead and start, and I'll see if I can get this to work, because I know you did give it to me. Yeah, it looks like I can share my screen. Okay.
Oh, perfect. There we go.
Can you see it?
I can. Yes. Awesome. So wouldn't it be great if you could actually attract the love of your life and it was quick and easy? Wouldn't it be great if you could know if that person is actually the right one for you, or, you know, correct for you, we say, because right or wrong implies judgment. So we want to be judgment free. That makes it a lot easier. And all of this would be possible if we could actually create the life we want to create, like I mentioned earlier, and we can. And the answer is by following our design. So let's go to the next slide, and let's talk about what is this thing called human design. How to attract love by design is our focus today. And my name is Grace Gravestock. I'm with New Paradigm Transitions, and I help people create a life they actually want to live. So next slide. Today, what we're going to go into is, first of all, we're going to start with what is human design. We're going to talk about where did it come from, and then we'll talk about your particular love type and your personal interaction strategy. When you're doing this, you will be able to easily and effortlessly attract the love that you want, and not just the relationships. Like I said, anything. This applies to anything in your life, so it's beautiful. Not only the kind of partners you want to have, partner or partners, but really it applies to anything. So let's just join in. If you don't have a chart, go to humandesignamerica.com/chart, get your chart. And next slide, please. What we're going to talk about today is it's going to get you started. And if you want more, I have a free training series that you can get at the website here, humandesignreview.com. So if you go there, you can get started. I'm still working out. We've had some technical issues, both Janet and I today, but you will get something soon if you don't get something immediately, but you'll get more details than what we can share here because we have a limited time. So let's, today the focus is how you can use your type and your strategy to attract love. So let's go ahead, next slide, and jump into a little bit about me. I mentioned already, I've been a change manager for about 20 years, and my life fell apart, all these big changes all at once. I came across human design. It absolutely changed my life. I decided I'm going to take some time off. When I got laid off, I decided, let me take it as a sabbatical and try out all the things that I've been teaching my clients for all these years, because this is cutting edge change management strategies. Surely this would apply to personal change, right? I was going through a divorce. I just got laid off. I had a health crisis, major headaches for 18 years, and they were just staring me in the face. And then I also, because I had to sell my house, I moved in with roommates, housemates, and that was a big change too. So boom, 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 all at the same time. I actually wanted to check out. I was so miserable at that time, but my friends pushed me to get a human design reading, and that absolutely changed my life, because I decided to try out all the change management stuff on myself. And what I discovered in that process was that the missing component to what I'd been teaching and my clients have been paying for, the missing component was something nobody talks about. Still very few people talk about it, but you've probably heard about it. It's energy. So the energetic component is the magic sauce that makes it all happen. It makes our lives easy and effortless when we're in alignment with our energetic blueprint. So that is what I teach, and that's what we're going to dive into today. So next slide, Janet. What is human design? Well, it's called the science of differentiation. It's also called the science of awakening. It actually draws from a number of esoteric sources, including Eastern, Western, and Vedic astrology, the I Ching, the Kabbalah, quantum physics, and the Hindu Brahmin chakra system. So I say all that to say there's a lot of depth and a lot of precision in human design. It's not to overwhelm you or scare you. It's to say, oh my gosh, this is amazing stuff that's going to help you understand who you really are and how you can get exactly what you want in your life. Because the beautiful news is we are all creators of our reality. And the human design gives us the blueprint to live in alignment to make it fun and easy. So next slide. When we talk about what is human design, we have to ask the question, were we coded at birth? Many people think we were. And if you've ever tried the Myers-Briggs personality test or Enneagrams or any of those kinds of things, you know that there's some truth to punching in some information and boom, having some real insights into who you really are, patterns that are unmistakable. Well, human design takes this to a whole new level. Human design comes from somebody, his name is Ara Uruhu. There's a documentary on YouTube. You can find out all the details if you're one of those people that wants to know all the details. It is a very interesting story. It's a little bit slow as a documentary, but if you're curious, it tells you everything. And so human design is this amazing way to know who you are, to know yourself, love yourself, and learn self-care, which it sounds so simple, but honestly, that is the core of how to attract the love and everything else that you want in your life. But it first starts with knowing who you are. So what does that mean? It means we're going to look at your energy blueprint. So next slide, please. Love by design. We talked about a little bit about what it is, where it came from. Now we're going to jump into what is your type, and I'll say your love type, and how can you use it to attract love. You'll see on the right, this is my chart, just to give you a quick synopsis of who I am from a human design perspective. I am what's called a manifesting generator. I'm a 2-5. All that sounds like weird code that doesn't mean anything, but I'll tell you this, in pure, simple language, it means that I can get a lot of stuff done. And I'm here to connect. I'm here to connect, motivate, and inspire others to be the best versions of themselves possible. And my vision is by 2025 to have 5 billion people living the Know Yourself revolution. That means 5 billion people living according to their design, living in alignment with their energetic blueprint. And really, that shouldn't be that hard, right? If we could just show up and be who we really are. But the problem is we don't all know who we are. So today you are going to get some insider information into who you really are and how you can attract that love that has seemed to be, it seems to be fleeting. What'd you say?
Elusive.
Elusive, thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you, Janet. So it doesn't have to be elusive. It can be fun and easy. So I want you to say this right now. Say it out loud wherever you are. I choose to make it fun and easy.
To make it fun and easy.
Yes. So using these affirmations is one of the things that I share with my clients. And it really does make a difference because our words matter. Our thoughts, our words, and our intentions create our reality. So let's jump into what does that mean from like kind of a scientific perspective. So you get a little bit of grounding in this. So next slide, please. Let's have a moment of silence. So don't go away. What I want you to do is I want you to actually take a moment to get centered. I want you to shut off your cell phone and the dings and all the distractions of your life and give yourself the gift of the next few minutes to learn something amazing about who you really are. So I'm going to ask you to take a deep breath, close your eyes, and I want you to just do a quick body scan. Now, the purpose of the body scan is to get into your physical body. It's to go inside and to start to tune into the messages that your body's giving you. So just briefly, as your eyes are closed, I want you to take another deep breath. And as you slowly let it out, I want you to do a quick body scan. That means feeling, what does your head feel like? Where is there tension in your neck? Is there tension in your shoulders? What does your torso feel like? Your arms, your shoulders, your back, your legs, your butt, if you're sitting down, your feet. Wiggle your toes and just notice what is happening with your physical body right now. Just notice. You're starting to tune in, and this is really important as you learn about how to live in alignment. So one more deep breath. Let it out. Make a conscious choice. You are exactly where you need to be right now. And if you are here, you found this live stream, this is for you. And you're going to find out something amazing that literally will change your life. It will. So go ahead and open your eyes. You are focused on being here in this moment. The quick summary of everything about human design is there is no one-size-fits-all approach. we've been taught that we just need to do this thing or whatever. And if we do, we'll, get the prize. And the fact of the matter is we're all different. So next slide. Here's something that you're going to find fascinating, especially with all the rhetoric that we've heard over the last year and a half about social distancing. The reason I say that is because we all have what's called an aura or an energy field. And in scientific terms, it's called an electromagnetic field of the heart. You can find more at heartmath.org if you're interested in this. But essentially what it says is that we all have an electromagnetic field that goes out, I'll say approximately 6 feet. Yes, 6 feet. Isn't that funny? And so we're meant to connect with others energetically before we even open our mouths. Now, if this sounds bizarre to you, I want you to just stop and think about the last time that somebody came into the room that was really upset. And everybody who was in the room knew that they were upset without them even having to say a word. Now, how is that possible? That's because your aura speaks before you do. And so we do communicate without even communicating. We say a lot. And so our bodies actually pick up a lot of information. It's like these giant antennas. So as you understand your energy blueprint and your aura, you can start to understand the types of information that you're picking up all the time, and also the types of information that you're broadcasting. So next slide, please. This is a reference point, and you'll see an image of this on the following slides as we talk about your love type. But I want to just explain the principle here real quick so that you have a reference for the images. So what this means is that energetically there are 4 energy types, and 70% of us are in this category called builders or generators. And this red circle around, what did you say, Janet?
Oh, that's me.
Oh, that's you. Yeah, that's Janet. And that's me too. We are 70% of the population. We have an aura that attracts things to us. It's called an open and enveloping aura, and it brings everything we want to us. Now, here's the funny thing. We often spend time criticizing and complaining and talking about what we don't want. And what happens when you talk about what you don't want? You get more of it, right?
You get more of it, yeah.
Why does that happen? It's because you're literally training your field to bring to you the word, whatever you speak about, think about, and set your intention for. You're literally training your aura to bring that to you. Wow. Doesn't that make you want to be a little more conscious about the words?
Yes, definitely. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Words are so powerful.
Words are powerful. They create our reality. I mean, our words, our thoughts, and our intentions. What'd you say?
Spells is what spells mean. Like casting spells is speaking.
Yes. We actually cast spells with our words, and who knew, right? And if you look into the etymology anyway, if you look into the roots of words, you'll find this even more. It's just fascinating, hidden in plain sight. Janet and I love that kind of stuff, don't we, Janet?
Yes, we do.
Yes. So anyway, most of us are going to attract what we want into our lives by training our aura with our thoughts, words, and intentions. And our aura brings it to us. And our strategy is to wait for something to respond to. So the reason we have to wait is because we set our intention. The universe brings us something to respond to that's on that frequency, and then we follow through. So that's the generator type. The projector types, they have a little bit different, very different actually, a very different configuration energetically. And so their aura is focused and absorbing. And if you know a projector type, we'll talk more about the types in just a minute. But if your human design chart says projector, then you are really good one-on-one. And you have a special superpower of being able to literally see into people, past their facades, past any kind of stuff they're trying to project out there. You can see who they really are, and that is amazing. But you're designed to do that, and you do that because of this aura that you use to see into people. So your aura allows you to do this, but you need an invitation because it can be very off-putting for a projector to just like see a person. And I've been in that situation many times, and it can actually feel physically uncomfortable. So if you're a projector, your strategy is to wait for the invitation, because you can really help someone but it's not going to be worth your time unless they ask you for that help. So that's how that aura works. If you're a manifestor, the manifestor types, and by the way, projectors are about 21% of the population. Manifestors are about 8%, maybe 9%, and their aura is different. They're here to create. If you're a manifestor type, you're here to initiate. That means start new things. And in order to do that, you need a lot of space because your words are powerful. You could just create things with your words and they happen very fast. We all do create with words, but manifestors, they like got the super speed dial on that. And that's one of their superpowers. But because of that, they need a lot of space to be able to create. And so their aura is called closed and repelling, meaning that it gives them a space cushion around them so that they can choose, oh, I want a relationship with you. I want a relationship with you. And so if you've ever met someone that just feels like there's just like this barrier there, it could be that they're a manifestor and you're probably not a manifestor. You have to wait for them to initiate. Now, a quick tip here on manifestors, this totally flies against the advice that we've mostly all been given about dating, about how a man has to ask the woman. Now, if you think more broadly and you understand that we're all different energy types, what you want to start looking at is, am I operating according to my type? So it's not about gender, it's about type. So in this case, the manifestors are the only ones that are meant to initiate. So they have to follow their internal flow and they say, hey, I want you, boom. And then the other person obviously has a choice, but their function and their role is literally to initiate, to start or to create. And they just do it like that.
And I have some techniques too, depending on what you are, to be able to still attract what you want into your life, even if you're not a manifestor, by the way.
Well, we're all manifestors in the sense of being able to manifest. Yeah, but I just mean in terms of
the manifestor type.
Yeah. I'm just talking about the manifestor. And this just means like on your human design chart, it'll say manifestor. If it doesn't say manifestor, that doesn't mean that you don't manifest. It just means that your energy type is different.
Yeah.
So
I guess what I'm saying is there's ways to initiate without initiating.
Yes.
Techniques that I have. That's all I'm just going to say.
Yes. Thank you, Janet. Yeah, for all of us, I mean, for most of us, we want to do something, wait for something to respond to. So our power is in our setting our intentions, using our words, and then something will show up. So we'll get into that in just a minute. Let's just finish with the reflectors. The other energy type, they're very rare, about 1% of the population. You notice that the image is there, it's called sampling, and their chart is white. It's wide open. And the reason is all the white in the chart is like giant antennas. It's like picking up information. So the reflectors have this totally open chart and they pick up all kinds of stuff. They can almost like just read your mind just like that. They can know what you're saying before you even say it. And they have a special role in this world, and their purpose is about being like the canary in the coal mine, being able to assess whether or not a group is healthy or a community is healthy. So they're 1% of the population. We don't need that many because there's not as many communities. So one per community, ideally, and they play an amazing role. So next slide. So all that to say, there's different types. We each have a different kind of energy field, and based on our energy field, that allows us to do what we're here for. So let's jump into love types. What is your love type? We talked about the generator types. That includes the manifesting generators and generators. So Janet is a generator and I'm a manifesting generator, but we're both part of the builder category. And so we make up 70% of the population. And I'm going to introduce you now to some new language. This is what we call quantum language. And this is developed by Karen Curry Parker, and it helps us to understand a little bit better using language that makes more sense, I think, for some of the stuff. So for instance, generators are called builders. They're also called alchemists. Manifesting generators are called time benders in quantum human design language. All that to say, it's just to try to help you understand a little bit more about yourself. We'll get into the details in just a minute. So most of us are in that giant category of 70%. We talked already about the projectors. They're also called guides or orchestrators. And then the manifestors we talked about are initiators at 9%, and the reflectors can also be called calibrators at 1%. So let's talk more about what that means when it comes to love. So generators, like I said, they're called builders and alchemists. They make up about a third of the population. They're the steady, slow and steady builders because they're here to do stuff. And they go to A to B to C to D to E to F. You know, they can follow a process. Like Janet is amazing. The way she's built her business, I've done programs with her. She learns the stuff and she follows the process. And I so admire and respect that. I find it a little more challenging to follow the process step by step because I'm kind of all over the place. And that's just a little bit different about manifesting generators. But generators are perfect business builders because they can follow directions and they can follow a process and get from A to Z. Now, it doesn't mean that if you're a generator and you find this challenging that there's something wrong with you. It's a process. It's an experiment, not because it's experimental, but because we're here to experiment with it and learn as we implement it in our life. Because it doesn't matter what I say until it matters in your life. So all the stuff that I'm telling you, that I'm sharing today, is meant for you to just try it out and see how it feels to you and see what's correct for you. So Janet is designed for mastery, and so are you. If you're a generator, you actually have the potential for perfection. And the reason for that is because you're going to do the same thing over and over and over and over and over, getting really good at it. You can be like a marathon runner in the sense that you're good for the long haul. I mean, I've watched Janet build her business over the last few years, and she is still at it. She's consistent. She's tweaking it. She's helping more and more people every time I meet her. And it's just amazing how she's living her design as an alchemist. She's turning metal into gold. She's taking stuff that she learns and just absolutely transforming it into something beautiful that can help so many people. So that's an example of the alchemist in her. Alchemists like Janet may need support for the big picture planning. You may need to outsource stuff, Janet. We've talked about that before, but you're really good in group settings. And it's important that you're patient if you're a generator and you don't compare yourself to others because we're all different. And remember, wait for something to respond to. That aura in the bottom, that image of the red one, that shows you that your aura is attracting all the time, bringing to you those things that you think about, speak about, and intend. So that is how you're going to attract love if you're a generator. Set your intention, get really clear on what you want, write it out, speak it, and wait for something to respond to. So we'll get more into the strategy in just a minute, but let's finish with a little bit more about each of the types. So the manifesting generators, like me, we're called express builders or time benders. Again, about a third of the population. We are fast and efficient. Our specialty is efficiency and effectiveness. So we're great at multitasking. We can usually find the shortcuts. We kind of work in sprints, and then sometimes we get a lot done, and then sometimes we just don't for a while. And that's just, our energy is a little bit more sporadic. We can also need support with big picture planning, outsourcing, and things like that. We can be seen as flaky because we can turn on a dime, which is amazing, and it allows us to be very versatile and agile. But to someone like Janet, who says, like, if Janet and I are going to get together and I say, Janet, let's meet up at 6, and then I call her at 6 o'clock and I say, Janet, it just doesn't feel right for me. I actually need to do something else today. She probably might think I'm pretty flaky if we had agreed on it. And rightly so. I mean, I should be clear with my word. But what that illustrates for a manifesting generator is we're always meant to ask ourselves the yes or no questions all the time, and things can change. And so we need to adapt in our lives quickly sometimes. And that can be seen as flaky. So all of these characteristics, there's a whole lot more. And like I said, if you go to my website, humandesignreview.com, you'll get the course and you'll get a lot more information. But it's important that you know that we all have superpowers. We're all designed to attract love, exactly what we want. It's really important that we get clear on what it is that we want. Who is your ideal partner? And are you living that? Are you what you want to find, what you want to attract? Because like attracts like. And energetically, that's how it works, because everything is a frequency. So next slide. Projectors. I love projectors. 21% of the population. We talked about how they have a focused and absorbing aura. They are highly insightful, can be great influencers because they are the ones that are going to have those side conversations that are very powerful. They're going to be the one that's going to come up to you and say, hey, I have some advice for you. Are you open to it? and they're asking for an invitation. And if you say yes, they probably have some really great insights that are specific to you because they can see into you. So they're amazing. They are great at designing new things and team management. They make perfect project managers usually because they have an ability to coordinate and orchestrate and guide the energy of the generators. You notice they have an open sacral. I mean, if you're into the chakras or if you're familiar with human design, they have that open sacral that allows them to lock onto your sacral if energetically, if you're a generator type, and they can guide you to be more efficient and effective. So if you're in a relationship with a projector, and very likely if you're a generator type, you either are or have been, maybe not romantically, but generators and projectors are very attracted to each other. And the reason is because they're so complementary. They're like a perfect pairing in many ways. They're also opposite, so that can be challenging too. But anyway, the point is they can be seen as too sensitive because they're not like the generator types, and they need a lot of rest, and they pick all kinds of information up. So they might get overwhelmed easily. They might get, they might just have too much. It might be hard for them to be in a group setting because they're picking up so much information, and they might just not be able to be in a group very often. So if you're in a relationship with one, it's really amazing to know who they are so that you can understand what you can expect from them. Is there anything you want to say about this, Janet? I know you and I both know some projectors.
No, what you said is great. I don't know that much about. I only know mostly about mine, I have to admit.
Okay. Well, it's a good place to start. I mean, we got to know ourselves first before we can, and love ourselves before we can attract the love of our life, because we need to be the love of our life first. Love yourself first, and then you can love others. And also, that's because you're on a frequency, and that frequency is what you're going to attract others with. So beautifully said, Janet. Okay, next slide. We're almost done with these types. The manifestors are the innovators. They're here to start stuff. So remember, their aura gives them that space that allows them to initiate for something to respond to.
Oh,
so we'll get more into this.
Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry about that.
No worries. So the manifestor types, they can be very charismatic, even though they can be a little bit repelling sometimes. They're energetically, they're also very charismatic. So they draw people to them, and then there's this space cushion around them so that they can choose who they want to interact with. So again, a reminder, their strategy, if you're in a relationship with a manifestor or you are a manifestor, the strategy for a manifestor is to initiate. They're the only ones that are designed to initiate. So if we're a different type and we try to ask that person out or to make a first move, it is not going to go well. There's a whole lot more I can teach you as we look at your chart, and we can do a deep dive, and we'll talk about that at the end. But let's move on to the last type, which is calibrators. The reflectors, again, are very rare. Their aura is open and sampling, so they're picking up all kinds of information. They're really great at connecting people and facilitating stuff. They can read you like nobody's business. And because they've got so much openness, all the white in their chart, not only are they picking up information in all those white areas of their energetic wiring, they're also amplifying. So if you're with a reflector, then you're going to find yourself like seeing in a mirror, whatever you're going through, they're going to reflect it right back in your face. And the purpose of that for both of you, is growth. For them, it's to understand all the different things that they wouldn't otherwise necessarily experience through your energy. And for you, it's for you to see a mirror and for you to say, oh, wow, is that how I'm showing up? And you can learn from that. So every one of us has an amazing role to play. And if you're a calibrator, your strategy for love is to wait a whole month. Yes. So if you're in a relationship with somebody that just seems to take forever to make a decision, they might be a calibrator or a reflector. It's the same thing. Your chart will probably say reflector unless you got a quantum human design chart, in which case it'll say calibrator. But they are meant to wait a 29-day cycle before they make a decision. So it's going to be a little different for them. Yeah. So their decision making is, yeah, I know. Aren't you glad that you don't? I mean, in some ways, it's very challenging to be a reflector in these days. Yeah. Everybody's like,
I'm a make it happen girl. So
yes,
to to respond as it is, much less wait 29 days. Wow.
I know, it's crazy. So yeah, and they need a lot of rest. So there's nothing wrong with them. I know a lot of projectors, they need a lot of naps. Reflectors are similar. Let's talk about your personal interaction strategy. So this is this is kind of, I've touched on it already, but this is just to clarify it for you. So depending on your type, you have a very specific personal interaction strategy that's correct for you. So remember, no one size fits all. That applies to love as well. Most of us have been conditioned and programmed to just go out and find them, right? And just grab them and bring them in. Well, that strategy is really meant for the manifestors. And that's a small percentage, like 8 or 9%. Most of us don't fit into that category. Most of us are going to attract the one that we want, bring them to us energetically. And how, again, do we do that? We wait for something to respond to. And that's based on our thoughts, our words, and our intentions. So let's go into the clear details. So, okay, next slide. So each one has its own strategy. We talked about this a little bit earlier, but just to be clear, if your chart says manifestor or innovator, then you are here to inform others first. They're gonna say, hey, I want you, Janet. I want to be in a relationship with you. Let's go out on a date. That's an example of a manifestor strategy. They're just going to say it. They can just speak things into existence. I met a manifestor once on a train, and we, of course, I got out my phone and I'm like asking him his birth information because I kind of liked him, and he asked me out on a date, like right then and there, and we went out on a date that night. I was visiting New Mexico, and it was actually a pretty bad date, but it was the only time in my life that I just met someone. They asked me out and I went out on a date just like that. And he was a manifestor. So go figure. So as your love strategy, if you're a manifestor, is to say what you want and then take action. And again, the reason that you want that manifestors need to say what they want, they're informing, like, hey, I want to date you. Let's go out tonight. Like, they say that because they're preparing you for when you go on like, things are going to happen. This is going to happen fast. So and they're here to initiate, to start new things, start new relationships, whatever it is. So that's very powerful to know, isn't it? I mean, if you're a manifestor and you've been holding back in the shadows, afraid to speak your mind, you are probably seriously unhappy. And so a big part of what I teach my private clients is how to live in alignment so that you can understand what it means to be you. And we're all different, and it's beautiful, and we're here for a purpose. And it's so freeing and empowering to learn about your own chart. So that is one of the things that I offer. Let's go to the next slide, Janet, to talk about, famous innovators or manifestors, a couple pictures of famous people. Let's go on. So the strategy for builders, this is for most of us. This is Janet, this is you and I. Janet, you just need to wait for something to respond to, right? So you set your intention, you say, oh, that guy is hot. I want this kind of guy. He looks like this, he has this much money, and whatever, you're making it up. But you have clarity about what you want, and then you just step back, you love yourself, and you wait for something to respond to, and you'll find something will show up in your physical field. It could be an email, a text, a pop-up on your computer screen. It could be somebody smiling at you as you walk by. I mean, it could be anything, but all those things, it's going to be something that's going to show up in your physical field that you can see, smell, taste, hear, or touch. So this applies to most of us. All generators have to wait for something to respond to. Once we have that something to respond to, then we can check in with our internal guidance system. For most of us, it's either our gut or our emotions, and that's something we'll cover in another class. But we wait for something to respond to, and then we respond. Now, if you're a manifesting generator, as I am, it's a little bit more complex, but not much. We wait for something to respond to, and then it's important for us to envision what does he look like? What does she look like? What are we looking for? We envision what it is. We speak it because we're part manifestors, so we speak it. We inform, and then we take action. We respond, and so that is how we as generator types live our strategy for love. So we don't go out and just find that person and drag them home. We wait for something to respond to. Is there anything you want to add there, Janet?
Yeah, well, No, that's funny. You don't want to drag them home. Yeah, actually, that's the whole how I created this group was because I was responding
Perfect.
to someone saying, "Hey, where's your group?" And I'm like, "I don't have a group." "Oh, I'll create a group," and then boom, it just popped. You know?
It's perfect. And you see how it just flowed, right? It was just almost effortless. They said it, you responded, you took inspired action, and boom, it's just been flowering ever since, right?
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Because yeah, my other group that I had, geeks for girlfriends, right? Basically helping men with their confidence and stuff. It just, for almost 2 years, nothing really popped, even though I was doing stuff. People that actually, attended my stuff were saying great things, but it just wasn't popping. And so I realized I wasn't really in alignment with who I was. So that's one thing, right? Being, like you said, being in alignment, but also responding to what people want. And so that's what I'm doing now. I'm learning. It's not an easy thing for me. I'm a kind of make it happen kind of girl. So it's really hard for me to just kind of sit back. And that's kind of what I did this last month, is kind of sit back and listen, looking at all all the people that came in. I asked them the question, what's your biggest challenge? Like listening to that, understanding what they want. You might be getting some more polls in the future about that, but really trying to understand, what do you want? That's what I'm here for, is to help you, but understanding what you want and responding to that. So.
Awesome. That's so important. I mean, if you don't know what you want, how can you create it? And so we're all here to be intentional creators of our own reality. And Janet can help you get that clarity. That's important. That's super important. There's nothing more important than that, because we then attract. Remember, we train our aura based on that. What we say, what we think about, what we write about. I teach a gratitude journal process, which is powerful, which you'll get when you sign up at humandesignreview.com. It's just powerful stuff, and it can be fun and easy. So let's keep going. We're just about done here. So some famous builders. Go ahead.
Oh, I love Elvis and Einstein. So that's awesome.
And then you can go to the next slide, which will be famous time benders.
Oh.
Yeah, and there's lots of them. I mean, everywhere you look. I mean, so the point here in putting the pictures in is to say, whatever your type is, you can do amazing things. You have superpowers regardless. It's just, are you living in alignment? Do you know how to use them? So let's talk about the strategy for orchestrators. So if you're a projector and you've tried to be like a generator or a manifestor, and you just go out and try, like I know someone who has applied for over 500 jobs. And he just keeps applying for jobs. And I keep trying to tell him, you're a projector. You need to wait for the invitation. So what does that mean? It means if you're a projector, you put yourself out there, whether you want a job or a date, you put yourself out there. It means you carefully craft your dating profile. And Janet can help you with that. Craft your dating profile. Put your best pictures out there. Take care of yourself. Make sure you're looking your best, you're feeling your best, because self-care is super important for all of us, but especially projectors. That's what you're meant to do while you're waiting for that correct invitation.
Like be in your joy is what I say.
Yes, be in your joy. And that's going to be so attractive to the right person, because again, everything is frequency. So we're sending out frequency when we talk, with our words, with our intentions, and we're going to attract people who are on that same vibration. So when you're a projector and you're wanting that date, just do your best to take care of you and make sure you're your best self, and put yourself out there. And then you will get the invitation that you want. And that will be, and you'll know, because when you tune into your inner guidance system, that will tell you. And again, more on that in another class, but let's finish the strategy part. This is important for all of us. So again, the strategy for orchestrators or projectors, wait for the big things. I have heard so many projectors say, oh, I can't go shopping because I didn't get an invitation. Well, no, you need to go do your grocery shopping. You need to do your laundry. Iron your clothes, whatever you need to do. Like, you do not need an invitation to live. What you need an invitation for are the big things, because what we're really talking about here is you sharing your amazing wisdom and guidance with the right people. So when you wait for that invitation, and again, you're putting yourself out there and you're letting people know what you can offer, then you're going to get the right invitations. And that's going to help you to not be operating on empty. You're going to be able to use your resources, because you don't have consistent access to that sacral motor. So you're going to have less energy probably than like someone like Janet. I mean, Janet just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes, and hardly never stops. I mean, I see her working around the clock. And that's amazing. And so for a projector looking at you, Janet, they're like, oh my gosh, I can never keep up with you. And this is where knowing yourself and knowing your partner comes in, because, you know, Janet, if you were to get in a relationship with a projector, it would benefit you both. I'm not saying you are, but at some point in your life, you probably will, because you're going to attract them. I mean, you're very attractive, especially to projectors. And you would want to make sure that you are giving them enough time to rest and do their self-care, even though it might seem like a lot of time to you, like you don't need that much time probably to do that, but they're going to teach you a lot just by being in your life. And I believe that that's one of the reasons that we have relationships, is to learn. In fact, I believe that's the primary purpose of relationships, is for us to learn and grow. So anyway, that's the main thing, is you wait to be invited if you're a projector. And if you try to initiate, it's only going to bring you bitterness. Only bitterness. So don't go down that path. So next slide. So famous projectors, good. And then let's move on to reflectors. So reflectors are different. They're lunar beings. It means that their whole beingness is I don't want to say dependent, but it's directed in some part by the movement of the moon. And so as the moon goes through its phases over the course of a month, the reflector type will one day feel like a manifestor, and next day feel like a projector, next day feel like a generator. I mean, they can just, because they're sampling everything as the moon shifts and changes their experience. And so again, they're here to learn and become very, very wise. And so they have to wait 29 days. So if you're in a relationship with a reflector, or you are a reflector, you have to learn patience. There's just no other way around it, because 29 days to make a serious decision feels like a long time for lots of people, but it's exactly what you need as a reflector to be sure that you're making the right decision. So next slide, please. So yeah, 29 days, a full lunar cycle. Next slide. And we see one reflector here. There's a lot more, but this is just the easiest one for me to find. So let's do a quick summary of your strategy, your type, your love strategy. If you're an innovator, your chart will probably say manifestor, and your strategy is to inform first and then act. And the reason, again, is to let people get out of your way, because when you act, boom, things are going to happen. So you say, hey, I'm going to go to the store now, and then people can, you know, get out of your way. They're not going to be blocking the door for you to be running to the store, because manifestors they can just go. And obviously you can apply this to any part of your life or your relationship. The orchestrators, also called projectors, they need to be recognized and invited. That is the whole purpose of waiting for an invitation. It's so that they're recognized by the people that are correct for them, that recognize them as wise and as having the guidance that they want. And that's their strategy. So the builders, again, the majority of us are builders and time benders, or generators or manifesting generators, and we have to wait for something to respond to. Don't try to initiate, or you're going to feel frustration. That's how you know when you're off track, is if you're a generator type and you feel frustration. That's a no-no. It just means get back on your path, and you know you're doing it right. You know you're on your path and you're in alignment when you feel satisfaction. If you follow Abraham, you know, it's funny, I've been listening to videos by Abraham lately, law of attraction type stuff, and they always talk about satisfaction, and they say it as if everyone is driven by that. It's really, from a human design perspective, only 70% of us. But when you're a generator type, that's how you're going to know if you're in alignment, is if you feel satisfied. So that's so easy, right? It doesn't have to be hard.
Satisfied. I like that. Right.
Say it again.
Oh, satified. I like that word. It's a cool word.
Yes, satisfaction is key.
Satisfaction, being satisfied.
It's key for you and I, Janet. Evaluators or reflectors, remember, got to wait 29 days. So be patient in order for love. So next slide. Quick review. We talked about what is human design, where did it come from? And then we talked about what's most important for you to know today and how to understand it. We talked about your type and your strategy. We framed it in terms of your love type and your personal interaction strategy, so you can apply it to your relationships. And if you can just get this one piece, this strategy part, I mean, this is huge. All of a sudden, your life will open up, and you will start to see these people just pouring into your life. But it all starts with your intention. It's, you know, clarity, like Janet said. She helps you get clear on what you want to find in a partner. So if you need that clarity, talk to Janet. If you want to talk about yourself and learning who you are energetically, that's something I can help with. Next slide, please. If you go to my website, askgrace.info, or no, well, first we'll talk about Human Design Review. If you go to Human Design Review, I think I messed up the slide. Human Design Review is where you'll have the free training on more details about what we've talked about today, how to learn how to understand who you are. And then if you go to my website, which is askgrace.info, then you will be able to, you'll see that you have options for like a mini reading or a deep dive on your profile. We also will do we can do a relationship assessment. If you're looking to get into a serious relationship and you're thinking about this is a lot of time and money and energy. And so it's really important that you take it seriously. And one of the things I can help you with is assessing your chart, the other person's chart, and then what is the dynamic between you. We look at your areas of friendship, areas of attraction, areas of compromise, and areas of domination. So you can see the patterns, what you can expect in this relationship and how to get the most out of it. So that's something in the relationship assessment. There's another one called Activate Your Life Purpose, where we focus on what are you here for? So we do a deep dive on your chart, but we focus on activating those codes that are in your incarnation cross on your human design chart. Those are 4 codes, and they make up 70% of who you are. But you can't unlock those codes until you learn your strategy. You learn to practice your strategy and your inner guidance system. And you can learn that very quickly and easily. It's something that I teach. We can do a quick call if you go to askgrace.info. If you're not sure what's best for you, just schedule a quick call and we'll talk about it and we'll decide what's best. So that's it. We are done.
Oh, we are. Okay, I wasn't sure. I was going to try to undo this. Let's go back to here, I think. Yeah, there we go. Great. Well, thank you so much, Grace. That was awesome. And, it's kind of funny because most of them are like, wait. It's like, what? Wait? No, I don't want to wait. I'm not much of a waiter. But there are ways to wait that basically the law of attraction, right?
Yes.
Being that person that attracts those type of people to you. Now, of course, you don't want to each of you wait and see other person, but there's ways you can know that someone's interested in you. I do believe a lot in the inherently men are usually the ones that have to initiate the chase, but there are definitely ways to do that within the human design types that I think can still be kind of integrated into that as well. So Grace, I don't know if you saw my message I sent you. I wanted to see if you could respond to that message before I keep going on.
Let's see.
In Facebook Messenger. But yeah, so thank you, Grace, so much for being here. And this is really awesome. I hope y'all really learn something new about yourself. Again, if you haven't, and in this post, there's a link to where you can get a free human design chart. Also, there's 2 other links. The one that she just showed you that was on the slide about if you want to know just more about human design and get her, be subscribed to her newsletters and stuff, like her emails and things to know more about it. And go ahead and subscribe or go to that URL, Human Design Review, right? Mm-hmm. And then, of course, Ask Grace. What was it?
Askgrace.info. If you want to talk about, if you want to talk about what kind of a chart reading would make most sense for you, or how I might be able to help you, schedule a quick call. Or if you're ready, just jump right in. You can find the information at askgrace.info. That's my scheduling page, basically.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, did you see my text or my message? I
did not. Hold on.
And I'm not sure when, but we're going to also be having, as far as other special guests, we're going to be also having some. I'll go ahead and. So anyway, everyone, thank you, Grace, for being here. I'm going to go ahead and if you want to say goodbye, I'm going to take you off the stream.
Yes, thank you. I look forward to talking to you soon. Yeah, Janet and I are going to do some cool collaborations, so stay tuned for that.
Oh, we are? Okay, that's what I was wondering. I sent her. I forgot to ask her before we started. I'm looking to bring Grace on as my human design expert for my program I will be letting y'all know about in the next couple of weeks or so. So, to me, I think human design is very important because, again, it's like who we are, what we need to kind of responding to that. So I'm looking to bring her on as one of my coaches, my human design coach in my program. So we're going to be talking about that. So hopefully we can work it out where she can be my coach. I just want to make sure you were interested first.
Definitely.
And we'll just discuss how that would look and how that will go. So as you can see, she's a great coach. I mean, just listen to her. She just knows she's awesome. So she's gonna be one of my coaches. I'm gonna have some other coaches on different areas. Like I said, I'm gonna be having other guests coming on, but let me just wrap up with Grace real quick. So Grace, thank you for being here. Again, you might be seeing her soon if you join my program that I'll be coming up with soon. I'm actually developing right now. I'm developing the webinar for it, so you can know more about it. And if you're interested, then you can join. So I'll be telling you more about that later. Anyways, thanks everyone for being here. I'm gonna Grace, I'm gonna say goodbye to you now, but I'm gonna stay on for just a moment. So thanks, Grace, again so much for being here. Really appreciate you being here. It was
Thanks.
awesome.
It was a pleasure. Appreciate the opportunity, Janet. Anytime.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So so yeah, all I wanted to see. Okay. So all I wanted to say was thanks to all for being here. Sorry about some of the technical difficulties that we had and starting a little late. But I want to let you know I'm going to be having some other guests come on. I'm very excited about it. I'm going to be talking about essential oils, Healy, if y'all know what a Healy is, just all kinds of different things. And another thing I want to know is, what do you want to know about? You know, I can come up with topics and things like that, but I want to know what y'all want to know, what you want to learn, some trainings and things like that you want to know about. So go ahead and let me know just in the bottom, you know, in the comments, let me know what you're looking for. If you have any questions on human design, please feel free to ask those. And I hope this time works better. I know I didn't get it in advance. I was working on a bunch of other stuff this past week. So I'm back in my Facebook group live. We'll be doing lives. We're going to also be doing, Feel Good Fridays, where I'm going to do a Zoom call. Actually, no, I'm going to do live stream. Sorry. Live stream where I'm going to ask you if anybody's having any kind of health issues, could be emotional or physical. And I have a Healy. I don't bring it over here with me, but I have a Healy and I can run programs on you to help you feel better. So it's pretty exciting technology. Also, we're going to have, what is I calling it? Share your wins. Yeah, Win Wednesdays. So we're going to share your wins. I'm just going to be posting a post on sharing your wins for the week. Your wins for the week. Oh, I like that. I love alliteration. And eventually I might even have meditation Mondays. I just haven't decided. I kind of want someone, I'm thinking of bringing on someone else to do that because I think those are really powerful. And I don't know, maybe I'll have them once a month. I don't know. I haven't decided. But my point is I'm going to be having more and more things as we keep going. We also will have some singles events as well, online Zoom events. Now, if y'all are interested in having local events, I know a lot of you in the UK live a lot closer to each other than we do here. Please feel free to talk to me and y'all can post events locally if y'all want to have your own events, okay? Again, this is what I'm here for, to connect y'all to like-minded, like-hearted people, so like us. So please invite your friends. I hope you enjoyed this. Please invite your friends so they can learn this stuff too. And we can, if we all invite our friends that are single, then they can get to know each other, right? We get somebody over here, we introduce somebody to you that somebody else, you know, like that, vice versa. You know what I mean? Anyways, I hope you're having a great Sunday. And if you also in the UK and the Europe, you can have a good night, sleep well. Those of you in the USA, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you soon. Thanks so much. Bye.